CEO Ronald Hickler from Creating the Difference. Today we're going to talk about the GB5. The GB5 features the GB 12.7 solid cover stock. We checked the surface scan of this bowling ball because it looks kind of chunky, and it's actually Sierra 500, 1500, and that scanned for us at 1000 grit. We also checked the hardness of the bowling ball. It's 75, the spec 73. We typically see these balls right around 74, 75, so that's right where it's supposed to be. We also do a little absorption test that we do on bowling balls now, and this bowling ball for us would be what we would consider a medium absorbing bowling ball. So it's not super quick, not super slow, kind of right in the middle. The core, it features the enhanced V2 core. The RG is 2.48 and the differential is 0.048. It is a symmetrical ball, so it's got no mass bias. My layout on the bowling ball is 55 by 4.5 by 30. And last but not least, one of the other things that we're doing, we're actually checking how these bowling balls smell. This one smells kind of like petroleum, which is kind of normal for the Brunswick family of bowling balls. They have that smell, but that smell gives them performance, so we roll with it. We're going to see what it does. I do want to talk to you for a quick second about the core shape in particular. I have a little bit of familiarity with it because it says, enhanced V2. And the Game Breaker series, initially, actually, I was part of the design team that designed that core shape. This core shape here is actually an actual V2 core shape, not the enhanced V2 core shape. And one of the main differences is this particular shape actually has a puck that's internal into the bowling ball. When we started to make some changes to the core shape, we go, hey, we don't need to put the puck on the inside. We can actually put it on the outside and just make it a one-piece design and still be able to get some good numbers. Then on top of that, we would actually put a pancake on top of the core shape to give us a higher differential. We wanted to get in that 040s. This ball is at 048, so it's got that pancake on top to give you that 048 differential. Doesn't have that internal puck. It's got an extension on it, which gives you the same kind of impact to give you that low RG. Now, one of the other things that's interesting about this particular ball and core is because it's round, what that really does is that means when you're drilling the bowling ball, whether I'm drilling it or you're drilling it or your buddy's drilling it, you're removing about the same amount of mass because the core shape is round. That is really good if the core shape performs really well, because that means a lot of people are going to find a lot of success with it. That's one of the reasons that we're at GB5 instead of, typically bowling balls are 1 or 2 iterations and they're gone. The other thing that makes that interesting is it will also give you consistency from ball to ball. So if there's a cover stock change, that's going to be what makes or breaks the bowling ball. If there's a finish change, that's what's going to be what makes or breaks the bowling ball. But ultimately, this core shape's been around for quite some time, so I'm expecting a lot of performance out of this GB5. Let's go ahead and get right into the review. Now she's 1000 grit, so she's chunky, so we're going to have to get to the right here and see what happens. Bowling on our standard house shot, and we'll see what she does. So she hooks. Okay, that's good. That's good. That is our first official shot with that bowling ball. You can kind of see the flare. There's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. Decent amount of flare there. You can see that, which we'd expect to see. I mean, it's 048, so that's not too low. It's actually more toward the high end of the differential range. The spec goes to 60, so they're pretty high up there. One thing the GB bowling balls are famous for is continuous ball motion, and this ball looks like immediately it's got that. Yeah, it hooks, bro. Okay, that's good to know. I will continue to move right, but we may have to break the hand down a little bit and give it a little bit more axis rotation to get it to push through the front, because she hooks. She hooks a lot. Now you see that right there? Bro, look, let me show you. Let me show you. That is a lot of hook for a mid-price bowling ball. So it gets out to about 3, and it was laid down at 25.8. So that's a lot of hook. That's a lot of hook, which is good. And the fact that that ball came back is that whole like continuous ball motion shape that we talk about, which is a very, very good sign. Very good sign. Yeah, I mean, she's got no fear. She's gonna be a good one. We could almost cut the video right now because it's got the right shape. It has that standard GB shape, that nice continuous shape. The cover stock obviously rolls fine. So we will move around a little bit, and I will have to change hand positions because that hand position will not work if we're going to move around. Oof. Oof. So I moved left there. I broke my hand back just a little bit, so not trying to get as strong at the bottom, and it hooked a lot, which is fine because we can definitely take some more off of it, and that will allow me to get a little straighter. I mean, immediately I would say, like, if you're somebody who needs a lot of performance, this is probably a good piece to look at immediately. The other thing is, remember, it's 1,000 grit, so it's chunky, right? It's definitely got some teeth to it. So we definitely want to bring that up and see what happens. I'm going to break my hand way back this time and see what happens. There we go. Yeah, yeah. So it has the right kind of shape. Continuous ball motion is the most popular. It's also the one that you can use the most because you can move around. And like all I'm doing now is I'm just, instead of being a little bit more like this with my hand's broken back a little bit so that I don't put as much on the bowling ball, which doesn't really matter because it allows me to go a little straighter and still create a very, very strong shape on the lane. I mean, once it goes, it's gone. Yeah, I like this piece. So I want to finish out this game, or this simulated game, and I want to see what the surface change is. You know, that's one of the things people don't think about a lot, is how fast or slow the surface of the bowling ball changes. So we said it's 1,000 grit, we scanned it that way, and when we're done with this game, we will scan it again. Ooh, she's just good. She's just a lot of hook. So definitely, if you need more performance, this is definitely something to look at. I find this to be highly desirable for the average league bowler because we're gonna really break our hand back now, see if we can create a little bit more straight through the front, not as much on the back end. That's why. So you can actually have a lot of different styles, be able to get the same kind of shape, that nice continuous shape. And you're seeing I'm changing different hand positions, and that's allowing me, but I'm getting the same reaction. It's the same kind of shape, whether it goes a little bit longer or a little bit earlier, it's still that same nice continuous shape. I mean, that's what makes GB balls good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I got 2 more shots to throw in here. I'm gonna go back to the right, and we're gonna go ahead and hook it some more because that's always more fun, just in general. But I'm actually going to see if I can go right and then delay that back end. So I'm gonna try to create some more axis rotation, which will make the bowling ball push longer before it makes the move. We'll see. Yeah, okay, so I wanna scan it now. I wanna see what the surface scan comes up because that to me is gonna tell me a little bit more about how this bowling ball is gonna work for you, the average consumer. Let me wipe this ball off. We want to get all the oil off the ball so we can get a nice clean scan. All right, let me see what we get here. All right, so now here's what's interesting. The whole ball is about the same sheen. It doesn't really matter where you go. Obviously, don't hit the oil, but it doesn't really matter where you go, but it's now 1,500. So that's good. I would tell you that that's pretty good. Only going up 500 grit points after a game is pretty solid, which is good because that means it's going to take a while for the ball to get to 4,700. 4,700 is stable. When a ball gets to 4,700, it will stay there. It will not deviate from that number. But the fact that it was 1,000 and only went up 500 grit points, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I want to do one more comparison. I wanted to kind of see, I went and grabbed my big time SC, and I wanted to kind of see how it performed at 1,000 grit as well. So we're going to kind of throw it now in a similar location, just kind of see what happens. 1,000 grit is chunky. So that rolled forward. That is not continuous. That is not as usable as GB5. So if you watch, and maybe Chris will replay that shot so you can see it again, but if you watch, it's going down the lane, but then it ends up going this way. And when it's going this way, it isn't hooking anymore, it's a wrap. So to me, the GB5 immediately is way more usable. Like it's gonna be way more usable. So if you've got a big time SC and you like that ball, this ball's gonna be a more usable version of that ball. If you don't have a big time SC and you want a bowling ball that's just gonna be more usable in general, probably want to grab this ball. Let me throw it one more time. That was interesting because it definitely rolled forward. So I got around that one. I purposely was like, well, let me make sure. So I got around that one a little bit more. It was a little more continuous, but still definitely not nowhere near as continuous as the GB5. Like this GB5 ball is definitely a superior piece, and I think it's going to be liked a lot more often too. Let me throw it. I'm gonna throw this ball again. I like this ball. This ball was good. So, get out of here, baby! Let's go change the surface on this bowling ball and show you how it rolls. Stay tuned. All right, so we put some surface, or took some surface off the 1,000 grit ball, right? And we're gonna check and see where we're at now. So specifically what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of bring it up a lot closer to that stable grit because that's kind of where the ball's gonna end up at. You can see right here, the ball now is at 4,500, right? So at 4,500, we're now within 200 grit points of 4,700, which is stable. So this is going to be kind of the reaction that you're gonna get. It's gonna be very close to the reaction you're gonna get if you don't touch the surface of the bowling ball. A lot of people, they don't alter the surface of their bowling ball ever. And if they don't, like I said, the ball will get to stable. So let's bowl with the ball now and let's see if the ball keeps that continuation or if now there's something that's different. Yeah, she's still good. She's still good. I hope you can really see that shape. You know what, let's just cut the lights off really fast. So, let me see here. So that shot was 22 and it got to like 3 and it came right back. I mean, so it's 3 left of where we were earlier, but getting to about the same spot out, and man, does it not care. Like it just doesn't care, it still keeps going. So, you know, if I've lost 3 boards of hook, but the same shape, that's not terrible. Oof. So I'm gonna polish this ball. I wanna see if it maintains that polish, because if it maintains that same shape polish, then that's a really, really good sign. Typically you don't see that happen, just being honest, because the cover stocks tend to perform better in one particular situation than another. But this ball is definitely, I kind of expected it to be a lot less hooked than it is. I haven't broke my hand back anymore. I'm back to kind of a normal release, but the shape is just really good. Watch. So right there's when it goes. And as long as it does that, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be really, really close. But yeah, I think we gotta put a little polish on her. I gotta see it. I think you guys wanna see it too. Let me throw one more shot. And this time I will break my hand back. We wanna get that as a good monitoring spot as well. And then I'll go polish it up. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go put some polish on it. We're gonna bring it all the way up. We're gonna see what 6500 looks like. Stay tuned. All right, so we didn't give this bowling ball the True Cut Hand Applied Polish Plus powered by Turtle Wax. It goes all the way up to 6500, so let's scan the bowling ball, see what we got now. Let me go ahead and hit this scan right here. Oh yeah, she looking like she's supposed to. And that's what I'm talking about. So you can see, I mean, you can kind of see yourself in that bowling ball, but she scans like she's supposed to. Right at 6500 grit, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take this bowling ball, we're gonna see what it does now, because this is gonna be interesting. Because now it's super shiny, which I just need to see if she's still gonna hook like she's been hooking, because it's been performing really, really good. So let's just find out. Plus, this is good for you guys to get a good feel for how surface change impacts performance. So we're gonna start regular hand position all the way back to the right and just kind of see what happens. Now you saw the log come across. The problem with that is definitely now it's more like this, right? Definitely not, we weren't getting that super good continuation anymore. Little bit lazier. Once again, completely normal, like completely normal. We will now get ourselves lined up to the pocket. I did make a big jump left. It still wasn't quite enough. So we need to do a little bit more of that, which is fine. This is gonna work well if you are in a position where you are bowling on a little bit drier lanes, or you throw it slower and you want to use this ball still. Yeah, that's right where you gotta be at, right there. All good, all good. Same performance, same, not as much, definitely not as much, definitely way tamer, way less continuous, but still predictable. I'll take that all day long. I'll take that all day long. No complaints with that. There's a confidence factor too. There's a confidence factor when you have the right shape, because you know that it's gonna pick up in that mid portion of the lane, and once it picks up, it's gonna make some shape for you. It's not as nearly as much as it was, but it's not bad either. So definitely, this is going to be one of those pieces that I think that you don't want to sleep on. You definitely want to at least give it a look. Ooh, I kind of like that one, but she had a little bit more to say on the back end than I was expecting. And I got 5, and I have a 6-pin no tap. So all I got to do is not get 5, but it's the end of the game, so I win anyway. We're gonna throw one more shot because we're gonna go out of here on a strike. But definitely, if you're interested in this bowling ball, go to our website, ctdbowling.com, pick it up. You can get a free sanding pad, and you can adjust the surface. As I've showed you, obviously there's a lot of difference in performance with different surfaces, including the polish, which is good. And now we're gonna throw one more shot and get this video over with. And GB, by the way, it stands for Game Breaker, but it really could be good business. Sayonara. On behalf of Create the Difference, I am CEO Ronald Hicklin. Talk to you soon.